one more example with an agree or a disagree essay for writing task 2 for the IELTS examination. Some people argue that strict punishment for driving offenses is the only effective way toward improving safety on the road. Do you agree or disagree? So, people argue that strict punishment for driving offenses is the only effective way toward improving safety on the road. So, do you agree or disagree? So, the question gives you an option to choose to agree to the statement mentioned or to disagree. So, here I have chosen to definitely agree with the statement because I feel that the rate of accidents will definitely come down to a great extent when driving offenses are taken seriously. So let's check out paragraph wise. Let's move on to the first paragraph, which is the introductory paragraph. Just mention the problem, whatever is the main, describe the scenario or the situation about the driving issues on the roads. Urban issues on driving. So we all understand that, we face this only in urban areas, definitely not to that extent in rural areas. So we can talk about this issue in urban areas, the driving issue. We can also talk about the laws or the punishments that are being given or that are being enforced for people who violate such rules. So all these things can come in the first paragraph. Moving on to the next paragraph, I feel that since I said I strongly agree with it, I will try to justify my point, my stand by giving more examples or more ideas to support my answer. So strict punishments are very important to improve road safety. So what is the reason? Why do you think I am strictly for this point? It's because I am concerned about road safety. Next, fear of punishment. So even if people are not really worried or they are so confident about violating the traffic rules, fear of punishment would definitely help them, curb, or not help them, generally help us to curb the offenses, violation of traffic policies. Fear of punishment, it can be in any form, like, fine or suspension of license, and sometimes imprisonment also. So all these things can be mentioned in the next paragraph, which is going to be the second paragraph. Moving on to the third paragraph, what will they lead to when the laws are going to be, more effective, or if the punishment is going to be more intense? What will it lead to? I can mention that this will lead to more responsibility in the driving habits. People will become more responsible. Loss or casualties. So the rate of accidents will come down, casualty or any sort of loss or injuries, all these things are going to come down, which is going to be definitely beneficial to the society. So I can mention that. Another very important point is your insurance. So when we know such rules are being curbed and people are strictly following the driving rules or patterns or habits, decent driving habits, then your insurance premiums will come down, which is definitely going to benefit any common man again. So because the claims would be less, because accidents are going to be less. So, and moreover, we are also going to have a very safe journey and hassle-free journey. So all these things can come in the third paragraph. The last one is a conclusion. So here in the conclusion, I can say that some people strongly believe that apart from strict punishments, the society and the government should focus more on traffic education, educating people on the right way, how not to violate traffic rules and how stick to decent traffic habits. So that education is very important, the awareness is very important, and sometimes the government can also stiffen the procedure of granting license or cancelling, suspending license if there are any violations. So all these things look good because sometimes strict punishments or stricter punishments are definitely necessary for to curb the offenders. So I completely agree with that notion that offensive driving must be penalized heavily in order to bring safety on the road and sense of accountability in drivers. So let's quickly go through the points once again. The question goes like this. People argue that strict punishment for driving offenses is the only effective way toward improving safety on the road. Given that you can choose to agree or disagree, I have chosen to agree with the topic strongly. So my first paragraph is an introductory paragraph where I'm going to talk about all the issues, driving issues in urban areas, because as we discussed earlier, we face this problem mostly in urban areas than when compared to rural areas. So what are the existing laws, punishments, how effective are they, how strictly are they followed, or how often are they being imposed? All these things can come in the introductory paragraph. Moving on to the second paragraph, I can talk about the road safety, how important it is to have safety rules, follow them, and fear of punishment. When people have the fear of punishment in various forms, whether being imposed with fine or suspension of license or imprisonment. So any of these will definitely help us curb the offenders, curb the number of offenders, and these can come in the second paragraph. Moving on to the third paragraph, responsibility. Every citizen ought to be responsible. This is going to give them or teach them more responsibility. This is also going to be highly beneficial to the society because it's going to curb the loss, material loss, casualty, injury. So it's definitely going to be a benefit to the society. After this comes your insurance. Your insurance part, the premiums would definitely come down because when there are less number of accidents and when there are less claims, the insurance premiums will come down, where again any common man is going to be benefited. And coming to the conclusion passage, I would re-emphasize on whatever I have said, and I would mention that strict laws should be implemented, and apart from implementing strict laws or rules, we should understand that traffic education is also very important. Society with the government should pay more attention in inculcating the traffic rules or teaching proper traffic education to the common public. The police might even tighten the procedure of granting a license or suspending a license permanently or temporarily, whatever. So when all these procedures are going to become even more stronger and intense day by day, definitely we would be able to curb the driving offenses, which is again going to be of more use to any common citizen. So that would come under my conclusion in the 4th paragraph. So I would finish my essay like this with 4 paragraphs. My first paragraph being the introduction, 4th being the conclusion, and 2nd and 3rd being the main idea or the body of the essay.